All right, so let's get right into it. The biggest name in software has just rolled out the new face of its AI. And for a whole lot of us, it feels like we've seen this ghost before. So the big question is, are we about to watch one of the most famous mistakes in tech history happen all over again? Sometimes the internet just sees the future with this terrifying clarity. A day before Microsoft's huge announcement, a user on the Something Awful forums just casually posts this. Was it a joke? A cynical prediction? Well, as it turns out, it was basically a prophecy. Because, yeah, they pretty much did. So, let's properly meet Mico, the new face of Microsoft's Copilot. And we have to ask, is history just repeating itself? So what is Mico officially? Well, Microsoft describes it as an expressive, customizable, and warm presence. It's this little orb that animates and changes colors while you talk. But let's be real, this is not a new playbook. Mico is just the latest in a very long and kind of troubled line of Microsoft helpers, from Rover the dog to Cortana, and of course the one and only Clippy. Oh, and yeah, it's on by default. And that brings us to the billion-dollar question, right? We all know this type of assistant has a really, really bad track record. They were annoying, they were intrusive, they were mostly unhelpful, and people made fun of them relentlessly. So why on earth would Microsoft want to try this again? Well, the answer actually lies in a really powerful design principle, the metaphor. To really get what Microsoft is thinking, we kind of have to understand why designers are so obsessed with this idea of saying, this is like that. So the usability legend Jakob Nielsen explains that a UX metaphor is basically just a shortcut for our brains. It takes something we already get, like a physical desktop with papers and folders, and it maps that idea onto something new and abstract, like a computer screen. It helps us build a mental model of how this new thing is supposed to work without having to learn it all from scratch. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got your good metaphors and your bad ones. Things like the desktop or a shopping cart, they work because they map function. A folder holds things. A cart holds items before you buy them. Simple. But the helpful character metaphor, it has failed over and over again. It promises you a social relationship, but what it delivers is annoying interruptions. It breaks the #1 rule. A good metaphor is supposed to help, not get in the way. Okay, so if we know the metaphor is so flawed, why is Microsoft doing it again? Well, because they believe they've finally cracked the code. This time, they say, they're not just building a cartoon character, they're building a truly human-centered AI companion. This quote from Microsoft AI CEO, Mustafa Suleyman, is really the core of their entire pitch. The goal isn't an AI that does the thinking for you, but one that empowers your own judgment. I mean, it's a really compelling vision, right? An AI that helps you think better, create more, and connect on a deeper level. And to be fair, they are backing this up with some seriously impressive new features. We're talking shared AI chats, long-term memory that personalizes everything, and even specialized tools for health and education. So this isn't just a bouncy animation. It's the friendly face of a genuinely powerful system. But no matter how polished and exciting that corporate vision is, it always has to collide with reality. And when Mico was announced, you could almost hear the entire internet let out this one collective, very familiar groan. The media reaction was immediate and pretty skeptical. The tech site TweakTown really nailed the mood perfectly here. For anyone who's been around computers for a while, the reaction wasn't excitement. It was more like this weary resignation of, oh boy, here we go again. So you've got Microsoft CEO talking about giving Copilot a permanent identity that will age. And then you have a user on the Something Awful forums who translates that grand corporate vision into a much more direct and cynical summary of how a lot of users felt. Look, we could probably just end the story there. Another Clippy, another corporate misstep, another failure. But what if we're all asking the wrong question? What if the real danger here isn't that Mico fails? What if it's that it actually succeeds? And this leads us to a much deeper concern, the risk of putting our own ethics on autopilot. Because when an AI is genuinely helpful and effective, it introduces this new, way more subtle kind of danger. And hey, this isn't just some random speculation. There's actual research coming out from a consortium of universities in the UK, including the University of York, that has started to seriously look into this exact problem. And here's the crucial point they're making. The more we rely on these AI copilots to help us, the less we might use our own ethical muscles. The fear is that over time, our actual ability to think through complex moral choices could start to weaken. The researchers basically point out two very different ways an AI can influence us. First, there's nudging. Think of it like a shortcut. It uses our fast, reactive thinking to just steer us toward a choice without a lot of deep thought. The danger is we become too dependent on it. Then there's ethical boosting. This is the opposite. It's like a workout for your judgment. It encourages you to slow down, to reflect, and to consciously build your own ethical skills for the long run. It gives you the problem and asks, okay, what do you think we should do? A perfect real-world example of nudging gone wrong is something called Goodhart's Law. It sounds complicated, but it's super simple. Imagine an AI is programmed to nudge an employee to get 5-star customer ratings. Soon, the employee stops focusing on providing great service and just starts chasing the 5-star rating, even if it means cutting corners. The goal gets lost, and the rating itself becomes meaningless. And all of this brings us to the fundamental conflict at the heart of this technology. Is it a tool for empowerment, or is it a tool for, well, enfeeblement? That's really the choice we're facing. So we have these three competing futures, right? You've got Microsoft's incredibly optimistic vision of empowerment, you've got the historical risk that it's just another annoying Clippy, and then you have this deeper ethical risk, a Copilot that's so good, so effective, that it quietly trains us to stop thinking for ourselves. It's something to ask yourself, is this tool helping me think, or is it thinking for me? I mean, just think about the name for a second. Co-pilot. A co-pilot isn't just some helper. They're a fully qualified pilot who can fly the plane. That branding alone subtly encourages a level of trust and deference that could easily lead us to outsource our own judgment without even realizing we're doing it. So as these companions get woven deeper and deeper into our daily lives, the real question isn't whether they're cute or annoying anymore. It's whether they will truly empower our own humanity.